Atlas Superstore can be kind of a tricky map. Today in this video, I'm going to go over 10 tips for playing on Atlas Superstore in Call of Duty. Welcome back to Warzone Central. Let's get into the video. Number 10, Nursery. One of the areas where an enemy is going to be able to pretty easily hold a long sightline is in the nursery. From the nursery, even in the very back, players can get a sightline all the way to the mild stockpile and into chemicals. Turning the corner from mid stockpile into nursery isn't generally going to be a very good idea, unless it's starting to be clear. More often than not, somebody is going to be waiting there. Number 9, mid-stockpile and chemicals. Mid-stockpile is going to likely to be one of the highest traffic areas throughout the entire match, considering it's the middle of the map with a ton of different paths breaching into out of it. Once again, this is likely an area where there's going to be someone with a long scope holding a sightline from a pretty serious distance away, so use caution when entering this portion of the map. Chemicals is a little elevated area to the north of the mid-stockpile, and it's a great perch for watching mid-stockpile, nursery, and lumber. Anyone on chemicals is almost always priority numero uno for the enemy team, so anyone up here is going to need to watch their back and their front, maybe the sides too.
And if they're actually going to be a big deal, because I know a lot of people are thinking, well, those doors are going to promote camping and then it's going to be unstoppable, and that is not a ramp.
Number 8, lumber. The opposite side of chemicals from nursery, lumber is, to be perfectly honest, a bit of a cluster. There are boxes, wood piles everywhere, making for a lot of really tight sight lane. Just about every fight in lumber is going to be close range, quick, and adrenaline spiking. Anyone traveling through lumber is definitely going to want to keep whatever their closest range weapon is in their hands, and they're going to need to be ready to use it at a moment's notice. It's probably best not to sprint through here in order to have the faster up and fire time in whatever fight occurs. Number 7, storage/toys. Connecting lumber and toys, storage is remarkably similar to lumber in just about every way, though it's important to note that it does have an exit outside into the loading docks. Fights are going to be close range and quick, giving the advantage to the person with the quickest trigger finger. Toys, on the other hand, is a bit more valid. A mix of close sight lines and long sight lines that look mid-stockpile and in the freezer. Toys is a great area for a team to hold in TDM or kill confirmed, since it's pretty easy to hold the important sight lines and difficult for an enemy to push yourself off of it. Number 6, weapon stash. Weapon stash is a high risk, high reward area, much like chemicals. It's got a little bit of elevation with sightlines extending almost exclusively into mid stockpile. There aren't a lot of long sightlines available here, so it'd probably be best to have something with some good medium range capabilities, or at least something with a low to mid zoom scope.
You have to go to the cassette here, and you hold square until the screen shakes, and then that means you've done it right.
Number 5, Burger Town. Burger Town isn't generally a very high traffic area, though it is a place where it's very easy to get ambushed because of the sheer number of blind corners there are. With mostly short sight lines, Burger Town has 3 blind corners an enemy can jump around in an instant, with a small tunnel connecting checkout to Burger Town as well. It's usually best not to linger here, though players are going to be spawning here fairly often. Number 4, Checkout Electronics. Checkout Electronics is probably the jankiest area of Atlas Superstore. Checkout can look entirely unoccupied, but it could just be a ruse. People could be couched behind the counter in the middle of checkout. They could be positioned behind any of the pillars on the south side. They could be right behind you. Fights between Checkout and Electronics are usually the weirdest fights that are going to happen on this map, and some of the most confusing. Snapshot grenades can be of some help to ease the pain. Number 3, Pharmacy. For teams that are having trouble with enemies in checkout, Pharmacy is ironically the cure. From behind the counter in Pharmacy, it's possible to see more or less the entirety of electronics and a good portion of checkout. At the very least, it's possible to keep enemies from pushing out of checkout and towards the west side of the map, and at best, it's going to alleviate the pain of checkout altogether. Number 2, freezers/shortcut. The freezers and its shortcut are complete chaos. That's it. That's the tweet. This is where enemies are going to be jumping around the corner with shotguns and SMGs for the entirety of the match. This is where 50% of the deaths are going to occur throughout the match, and if there was a cursing heat map, this is probably going to be the hottest area. These are basically 2 lanes that connect some of the highest traffic areas of the map, usually both controlled by different teams, with one trying to push into the other. It's a meat grinder. Those who enjoy places like Shipment are going to love it, and anybody else is going to hate it. Number 1, security/carpenter's office. These 2 areas are actually on opposite sides of the map, but they serve similar functions. They're both in the second level of Superstore, with security being right over top the Burger Town and the carpenter's office being right over top the pharmacy. These both give long sight lines across their own respective areas, as well as checkout and electronics, further adding to the unpredictability of those areas. These 2 areas face each other, and it's unlikely there's a player in both of these at the same time, at least not from different teams, because each of these windows can be seen from the other. Neither can live while the other survives, and all that. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit a like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye and take care.